start off the conversation, I know we're going to talk about Colombo, but I think I have to ask you about Sri Lanka first. What is your assessment of how Sri Lanka is standing today in the face of travelers?
I think it's an exciting time for Sri Lanka to just really totally expand their horizons in different ways from a cultural perspective, from an incredible destination for tourism, but also the incredible places where you can see Sri Lanka in different ways and forms. And I think there's no other better place in the world than Sri Lanka. I'm a little bit biased, of course, because I'm Sri Lankan.
We are. How long do you think, or how much do you think we should work to make Colombo something like maybe Singapore or even better, because we are strategically located? How far is the journey going to be?
Colombo has to be Colombo, and we can't compare ourselves very much to many destinations like Singapore and other wonderful places in the world. It will be what it is, but it will come from a place of nostalgia about the past, the history, the culture, the temples, the places of prayer, to beaches.
Yeah.
And I think all that layered in allows Colombo to be Colombo and makes it to be one of the greatest destinations of the world. This is where we are, and this is how we're evolving as a nation, as a country, as an island, but also as a cosmopolitan city, but also looking to the future and want it to be something. I do see that in the wonderful faces of our younger generation who want to make this place one of the greatest places I think on earth.
Yeah. Colombo is so much more than a city. It's a destination. We spoke about all of this and more with Sanjiv Hulugalle. Stay tuned.
When you have an ambition, trust your instincts, move forward. This is your moment to shape your future, to be independent, to strengthen yourself. Your time is now. Accelerate your progress, empowering your progress for a fulfilled life. Union Assurance.
For 30 years, LMD has been the voice of business in Sri Lanka, capturing the pulse of the nation's corporate landscape through its iconic covers. Each cover tells a story, from the first edition in 1994 to the present day, narrating key moments, leaders and trends that have shaped Sri Lanka's business ecosystem. Over the years, LMD covers have featured thought leaders, business pioneers and game-changing innovations, reflecting the evolution of industries and the economy. As we celebrate 30 years, these covers represent more than just publications. They are a testament to LMD's legacy of excellence in business journalism and its unwavering commitment to being Sri Lanka's leading voice of business. LMD, Sri Lanka's voice of business, a legacy of 30 years.
Hello and welcome to LMDtv. The topic of conversation today is Destination Colombo, and I'm here with Sanjiv Hulugalle, the CEO of City of Dreams and General Manager of Cinema Life. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ruwandi. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to be here. Start off the conversation. I know we're going to talk about Colombo, but I think I have to ask you about Sri Lanka first. So from what you have seen and what you observe, what is your assessment of how Sri Lanka is standing today in the face of travelers?
I think it's an exciting time for Sri Lanka to just really totally expand their horizons in different ways, from a cultural perspective, from an incredible destination for tourism. I think business as well, connectivity of building an ease of doing business location, but also the incredible places where you can see Sri Lanka in different ways and forms. And I think there's no other better place in the world than Sri Lanka. I'm a little bit biased, of course, because I'm Sri Lankan.
We are.
But having traveled across the globe in 12 countries, actually probably more, and 5 different continents where I've actually worked and set up companies and businesses. I truly feel Sri Lanka is at the start of this incredible journey and an incredible destination. It's going to sort of explode into a wonderful place to be.
Lovely, lovely. And Colombo, before we get to the formal questions, what is your favorite thing about the city?
Well, Colombo has changed dramatically. I mean, I left when I was 19 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And I traveled all over the world.
Okay.
And I set up companies, businesses. Colombo has always been this place where it has evolved with a lot of texture, a lot of spirit, soul. And what the beauty about Colombo is, it's become a place where it's a lot more fun. It's not a place where you come for a day and you visit. It's become a place where you can visit for 2, 3, 4 days. And the other wonderful thing is, got these local businesses creating experiences, creating places of destination. If it's food, if it's fabric, if it's texture, if it's shops which you want to entice local entrepreneurs to build and tell their story. I think it's a wonderful place to be. I truly believe, and I'm excited about it because it's also about quality, and I think that's a big part of being a global destination.
Lovely. This might sound like an unfair question, but how long do you think, or how much do you think we should work to make Colombo something like maybe Singapore or even better? Because we are strategically located. How far is the journey going to be?
Yeah, I see it in very different perspectives, and maybe not a little bit on the mainstream.
Right.
I truly believe, having traveled across the globe, Colombo has to be Colombo, and we can't compare ourselves very much to many destinations like Singapore and other wonderful places in the world. It will be what it is, but it will come from a place of nostalgia about the past, the history, the connectivity to all the wonderful things Sri Lanka has to offer. And if it is all the culture, the temples, the places of prayer, to beaches,
Yes.
but architecture, style, and I think all that layered in allows Colombo to be Colombo and makes it to be one of the greatest destinations of the world. I truly believe as well there's a big movement happening in Colombo, which is about showcasing our talent. If it's in the arts world, if it is in music, if it's in dance. And I think bringing all that to fruition truly creates a sense of place. What it really surprises me more and more is the place of authenticity. And I've been all aboard, I've seen different things, and sometimes we tend to lose track of our past. So I get the past being a pillar, being in the present where we feel this is where we are and this is how we're evolving as a nation, as a country, as a island, but also as a cosmopolitan city, but also looking to the future and want it to be something. I do see that in the wonderful faces of our younger generation, who want to make this place one of the greatest places, I think, on earth.
Yeah, yeah, lovely, lovely. I love the start, Sanjiv. Thank you. And if I ask you to list what you think are the most prospective aspects of the city that we can market to the global traveler, what would they be?
I think the most important thing is that we're a city which allows people to be easy to do business with, and the connectivity of people and communities is a key component and the fabric of that is a key component of making it an enjoyable experience for business leaders to be part of. Secondly, I think as a city, we are very connected to the region.
Yes.
We're a hub. We're sort of where east meets west in many ways. So as far as a nation is concerned, as a country, as a city, we're truly a hub for many pathways and many paths. Thirdly, which I think is celebrated very, we've got all the multicultural, textural ethnicities of a city, which allows people to really get on with people. Sri Lanka is known internationally, and the people are known as friendly, as a place where people want to have you part of their team.
Yeah.
And I think as a city, I think that's so important. And thirdly, I think there is a movement of architecture, of being a place where you can actually you can walk on streets, you can see beautiful buildings, but you can also be in beautiful shops, and you have the ocean next door to you, which is just the most glamorous. I actually went for a walk this morning too, which is lovely on Gull Face, and I think these are the things which a lot of places don't have, and Colombo allows everything to be encapsulated as a destination of being something special. Now, not forgetting our incredible food and cuisine. We have the most incredible, talented hospitality entrepreneurs, but also hospitality team members who work in all our places, which make it a wonderful place to be. City of Dreams is an adventurous project and is really defining the landscape of Colombo.
Definitely. Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, and what it does is it's opening the eyes of one globally that Sri Lanka is ready to take on the world, but also gives the opportunity, I feel, to be able to showcase the region that that a project of this magnitude, a project of this scale, allows us to be a defining moment, and we could call it a reset, or we could even call it a let go sort of attitude. I think it's a wonderful place to be in the history of Sri Lanka today.
Lovely. It's time now to take a very short break, but we'll still be back to talk more about Colombo.
Display your brand message on digital screens at prime locations. The largest digital advertising network in Sri Lanka. Emerging Media.
Welcome back to our show. We're in conversation with the CEO of City of Dreams and the General Manager of Cinema Life, Sanjiv Hulugalle. Let's talk a little bit about the travelers who come here. I know travel trends globally are changing. It's so dynamic. Who do you think are most attracted to us, and who do you think we should attract most?
Well, that's a wonderful question, because I think it's actually multi-textured. We have different aspects of travelers coming through, and I think it's a celebration of a sort of a melting pot. Colombo is that business traveler, and I think continuing adventure or being ease of doing business, which is critical, but being a place where you can move around and get your job, get your businesses started, and the connectivity around that. I think if you talk about our leisure traveler, we've got the most beautiful sites. I've traveled around Sri Lanka many times myself on my vacations in the past, and now that I'm living here, I get to see a lot more. It's easy to get around. Travel has become easier, more efficient, but also to get to these wonderful places, the beaches, the wildlife preservations, to the historical sites, but also to these sanctuaries where you get to see things which are very unique to Sri Lanka, where you experience a soul and a spirit, which is very different. So you're actually getting a range of travelers coming in. Now, if I was to break down the demographic of the traveler, you're looking at India and some of the regions being very very present right now. And there's and especially if you talk about the Indians or the Bangladeshis or the Pakistanis or even some of the other wonderful countries surrounding that, they love coming here to do business because it feels like a vacation too in many respects. I hear that over and over again. City of Dreams is a hub for all these wonderful travelers to do come and be part of it, and they can experience beautiful culinary, different types of food, and different palettes, but also art and culture and music and dance. Then you have that. Then you have the leisure traveler, as I said. You know, they're coming from the European countries like Germany and Italy and the UK. But we're also seeing a lot of travelers coming from Australia, from China, and then from the GCC as well. What we're also super proud of, and I see this in our statistics, seeing these travelers come from the City of Dreams and Cinnamon Life, is our diaspora, which are very, very excited to come back and invest back into the country. They see there's a potential. They also see a growth, and I think there's sort of a movement and a sense of enthusiasm that they want to be part of it. We also have the American traveler. I think the world has sort of shrunk in movement as far as going from A to B or A to Z, I should say. Travel has become easier. And I truly believe that you're going to see a higher spend traveler coming in, and in the US is a big part of it. Canadians, and that movement will continue to be present as long as we continue to innovate, create in our experiences, and providing services which truly keeps people allowed and come back for more, and that warm hospitality. One of the greatest things I feel whenever I travel to Sri Lanka and when I used to travel is that warm sense of hospitality, the sense of smile, the sense of connection right off the bat, and the welcome not to a country, but a welcome home to make them feel special and unique and part of something quite special. So I've even in the short time traveled around Sri Lanka and even in Colombo. People who are incredibly high net worth individuals traveling here, they just do not want to leave.
Yes. There were some statistics there that showed that people do return a lot. I'll share it with you later. I also want to ask you about the MICE segment, because we're seeing bigger spaces like City of Dreams coming up and Sri Lanka being a magnet for MICE tourism. Can you share some insight on that?
Yeah, the exciting things is I think we're seeing a different customer come in, and City of Dreams is actually obviously leading that. Cinnamon Life is leading it. We're opening a casino, which just very in on August 2nd. We also have a mall which we're opening. We're also building this incredible hotel, which is a small hotel, but part of our casino hotel, which is Nua. And I think all this creates options. What I'm seeing from the MICE customer is they want to see something different in space, in flexibility, in technology, in the ability to bring in different types of groups and MICE groups, which are enamored by not only about the space, which is now a given, but also the destination, and being part of a destination which is unique and special. You remember years ago we did a lot of promotions for the southern part of Sri Lanka and central and the east coast and so on. And now we're finding people are doing a lot of campaigning to come to Colombo.
Yes.
Because you've got the space, but now you can also be part of a bigger city which caters with various different experiences. So as we innovate and create and evolve, we've got to continue to be forward thinking in those aspects of the business. And I do feel every time I meet groups of entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, they're super smart and they're super driven by this movement of being catering for experiences. And I think that's an exciting part to be. And things are being done in very different forms and platforms.
Lovely. Sanjiv, it's been like, I know we've talked a lot, but and time has flown. So unfortunately, I have to ask you my final question. You mentioned the need to be creative, to be innovative, to always keep creating and, looking at the future. Being the devil's advocate here, what more should we be doing? What are we lacking? And what should we really focus on to get to that place that we are talking about?
I think I sort of dwelled in it initially, which was ease of doing business. We've got to be a nation where people find it easy to have access to coming into Sri Lanka. If it's the arrival experience at the airport or the visa process, all those elements are critical for travelers to be enticed to come and enjoy, versus having this element of another boundary or another fence of making a decision. I think connectivity is important, and I think I've seen some amazing things by Sri Lankan Airlines. I do see lots of airlines coming in. Connectivity is critical to a nation which is really at the cusp of growth and development. I do also see a city which needs to continue to build on accessibility, and paths, roads, walkability, shops which have access. And then most importantly, I'm a big believer of regenerative tourism. Using our local talent, using our locals in different ways, and showcasing their ability to create, to innovate, if it's toothbrushes, or if it is soaps, if it's candles, if it's just beautiful t-shirts or hats, anything you can think of, really using our local resources to be able to use that as a vehicle to keep them very involved and engaged in the way forward. As we bring in more visitors on the business side, on the leisure side, on the corporate side, and even on my side, I've also seen, as you said, weddings, which have been sort of a big interest. Destination weddings, regionally, Sri Lanka will be the place to be, and I think MICE is another movement, as you have mentioned.
Lovely. Lots to do, lots to look forward to, and lovely talking to you, Sanjiv. Thank you very much. We've been in conversation with the CEO of City of Dreams and the General Manager of Cinema Life, Sanjiv Hulugalle. Thank you very much. I loved the conversation.
Thank you.
And thank you to all our viewers for joining us. Until next time, take care.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and X. Thank you for watching and stay safe.